Many persons get into marriage with the wrong mindsets. And when you have the wrong mindset, you will choose wrongly and have wrong marriages. So the first thing you need to deal with if you want to choose and live right or build a successful home is your mindset. Because marriage is the union of two mindsets. Sometimes when we counsel people, realize how poor their mindset is. So the first thing I want to deal with, the first point I want to deal with in building a successful home, successful marriage or relationship, you must get rid of unrealistic expectations. Your thought pattern makes your relationship. Your thought pattern forms the choices, the choice you make. And every choice you choose has consequences. Your choice has consequences, either positive or negative. Consequence is not necessarily negative. It can be positive or negative. Praise God. So you need to work on your mindset. For as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. Another mindset you need to deal with, unrealistic expectation, is that I must marry a perfect man because he's Christian. So I'm marrying a Christian means he's a perfect man. Or if I marry a pastor, it means the man is perfect. Okay, let's do without the strings. Marry a perfect man because he's Christian. So I have met couples, and when I interview and clock them on why they're having issues in their marriage, the woman will say, I wish I didn't get married to him because I thought he was Christian. I'm like, why the past tense? And she says, because he gets angry easily or he's always shouting. So if he's really a Christian, it shouldn't be all of this. That's an unrealistic expectation. That the person is Christian doesn't mean the person doesn't have weaknesses. That the person is Christian does not mean the person does not have weaknesses. When you're exchanging vows on your wedding day, you're not going to be exchanging vows to a perfect man. You are not going to be exchanging vows for men here to a perfect woman. But you need to look very clearly to see the weaknesses you can marry, because not all weaknesses are marriageable for you. So the problem is not marrying the Christian, it's marrying the one that you see the person's weaknesses and you say yes to. I've met a lady who in a relationship, her guy was beating her. And when I told her this relationship is obviously leading to, it should break up, she told me that love chastises. Yeah, I don't hear some of you are in that relationship. She said love chastises. That's what she said. And that's the mindset we're talking about. That's the mindset I'm talking about this evening. And she ended up getting married to these guys. I'm talking to the marriage is no more. And she has given birth to 2 kids. So the kids are the ones suffering for the wrong choice, her wrong mindset, her unrealistic expectation. So many of you get into this and you say, I do to someone who is beating you. You say love chastises. So that you're marrying a Christian man does not mean the person will not be void of weaknesses. But you must choose the weaknesses you can marry. Not all weaknesses are marriageable for you. A Christian man has imperfections. Yes. A Christian man, I'm not talking about meeting the person in church. I'm talking about a Christian. Because meeting someone in church does not mean that the person is Christian. Because you hear some person say, oh, I met him in church. Why is he like this and all of that? I'm not talking about a venue. I'm talking about a personality. When you're marrying a person, you're not marrying a venue, you're marrying a personality. Don't confuse it. Because going to church will never equate spirituality or Christianity. So, you need to understand, that you are married to a pastor does not mean the person the pastor will not have weaknesses. He is a man before he's a man of God. I'm saying all this so that we can be very clear. I can't marry him. Do you know what I heard? Like for me now, the first person that broke up with me was a pastor. So if I wanted to miss out on my purpose, I'd have said I would never marry a pastor because the man was cheating. That he was cheating does not mean the next pastor will cheat. Because this is the kind of mindset many of you have, and some of you are still single, not because you're supposed to be single. You are single because you already have a wrong mindset due to your negative experience. So I said I will never marry a pastor, and I've missed out on my husband because I have a wrong mindset. So that he's a man of God does not mean he will be perfect. If you're going to marry a pastor, that he or marrying a pastor does not mean he will be perfect. So, but you must choose the weaknesses in the person that you're seeing, because a personality is made up of strength and weakness. Most ladies focus on strength and do not open their eyes to watch out for weaknesses. So you must open your eyes beyond the strength to see the person. Don't end with he's nice and caring. Beyond nice and caring, what else do you see in the person? So why you should not marry someone, why you don't end up just choosing a Christian, choose the weaknesses in the person that you are seeing. Because marriage is the union of 2 personalities, and personalities are made up of strength and weakness. That's my emphasis. Number 2, don't go or choose or live with someone with the mentality that I can change him. Many persons have ended up victims of wrong marriages because of these mindsets. I can change him. If you notice in your relationship, the guy meets an opposite sex and is always shouting and hitting the person, and you say, oh, he's the lady that did wrong. Probably the guy was driving, you guys were in the car together, and maybe the woman just hit him and started shouting and even slapped her. And you're like, hey, it's the lady, how could she have done this? How could she? Don't worry, get ready. He's rehearsing your own slap in marriage. And then you see all of these red flags. You get into marriage, and you're like, I will change him, don't worry. The man is cheating on you. You are going with the mindset that I will change him. I will change him, don't worry. God says we should be patient. All the while, you have not been patient with your friend. It's when it comes to man, you are patient. Am I saying that a human being cannot change? That's not my emphasis. I am saying that you cannot change a person. You can only model a change. They are not the same thing. You do not change. You can model. So you can model the right attitude, but you cannot force a grown-up person to change until he decides to change. You met this person in how many years of his life, and the person did not change. You do not expect that when you start the relationship with the person, automatically the person will change. Don't be deceived. If the man is unfaithful, any weakness you see today in your relationship, trust me, when you get married, it's magnified in marriage. And that's why many persons casualize the problems they see in relationship and they end up becoming casualties in their marriage. Because you casualize it. I can change him. I can change the guy. He's stingy. He's always saying he doesn't always have money when it comes to you. And you're like, you will marry a stingy man. The exchange of vows don't change the person. That you're exchanging vows does not mean the person. Even if there are 10 pastors pouring anointing oil on your head, the two of you, it won't change the person. You are saying every time, think about when you are saying I do to a man or a woman, you are saying I do to the person's strength and weakness. So you cannot change him. Are there some characters I met with my husband that now he hasn't dropped? Oh yes, there are some he has dropped. There are some that I am still dealing with, and there are some in my life that I'm still dealing with. We are 10 years in marriage, and I can tell you, for example, my husband is not that kind of person that can keep his clothes together. Until now, he still doesn't keep it together. In fact, he will tell you, he says it's only when he got married that he knew that he used to rinse the bathroom. He's looking for his socks. It's inside my handbag. I've not seen that kind of thing before. Is he still doing it now? Oh, yes. There are things that you will live with. You have to compromise. So I'm saying that so that you understand these things that you cannot change a person, no? Even in marriage, you only nag and destroy your home. The same thing with me. There are attitudes in my life that the truth is it has still not changed. It's just it. Because this person was living 20-something years of his life or 30-something years of his life. When you met him, if the character did not change within those 30, you don't expect overnight for the change to occur. You are dreaming. Marriage is not a movie world. It's a real world. Another kind of mindset, unrealistic expectation, is that it's only a man's responsibility to take care of the marriage or the home. Or to take care of you. Ladies, most ladies have this mindset. It's a poor mindset. And that's why many of you, when you graduate, the next thing you think of is marriage. You will never think of working. Your next solution, the next step is marriage. I'm looking for a man that when we get married, he work, he'll take care of me. Then you not quote this scripture. Any man that cannot take care of me is worse than an infidel. My sister, you are also a man. Any man, male man, female man. So when you are married, don't expect that the man will be the only one paying bills. Even if you are full-time wife, you and your husband agreed, prayer should be your job. There should be something you are depositing on your table. Don't have an entitled mindset. You will miss it. So we need to work on our mindset because our mindset brings unrealistic expectation. For those of you ladies here that think that when you marry, your husband will be serving you breakfast in bed, wake up. It's not Telemundo. You have read too much books, wake up. It's not like that. Oh, we don't know. Oh my God, my husband. Because see, let me tell you, most of the mindsets people have are already a journey for divorce. So by the time you get into marriage with these unrealistic expectations, you begin to have unnecessary issues. There are expectations that are real, but there are some that are so unrealistic. Very unrealistic. You begin to have issues. Another expectation, unrealistic expectation, is that your husband should know what you need, your spouse. Your spouse, even God expects you to ask and it shall be given. You expect him to know that you need this, and you are already quarreling when he doesn't even know. The man is busy doing things. He's busy. His heart is busy. And yet you expect him, if for example, you dress up, your husband forgets to compliment you. It's just a simple thing. My husband, how do I look? By the time you carry straight face throughout the day, who did you offend? Who is offending you? And then you will just be there. You need him to compliment you. Simple. My husband, how do I look? And then you will save yourself the entire day. You will save yourself from wrinkles in your young age. I had to learn it. I had to be conscious about these things. I remember when I just got married, my husband is not the domestic kind. He's not a domestic kind of person. So many times I would expect him to, clean the house, take care of things, assist me to wash plates and all of that. And he would just be looking at me. I will clean the house, even I will brush, take sweeping brush and all that. And then when he wants to hug me, I'll start squeezing my face, like, what's going on? I'm like, you could not even do anything. He say, did I send you? I'm serious. I'm for real. He didn't send me. Don't be me see my house dirty. I started to clean. He didn't send me. The thing will bring issues. And sometimes there are some words that are very unnecessary. Some conflicts are not necessary. So I had to speak with one of my mentors one day. She said, well, Anwinli, what if you ask this your husband to help you? I'm like, he should know. But since he doesn't know, you ask him so that he will know. And for real, when I ask him, this man will assist. I'm like, what? He will tell me, he said, did you ask me? I'm like, are you not supposed to know that you should assist me? He said, where? He said, where? I'll be like, I even told you that I was feeling headache. He said, hey, you are feeling headache and you were walking. How will I know that you're feeling headache? I'm serious. And for real, of a truth, when I ask him, he moves. Because let me tell you the truth, there are some men that would assist, but they may not, because they are not used to it. You would need to ask or appeal for their help. But when you go with your straight face and you're like, no, he should know that he should get me gift. How can he not know? My husband will say, how will I know which hair you want? Do I even know name of hair? You should know he should get me this. How can he be seeing his wife? Ask first. When you have asked and he did not respond, then that's when you need counsel. But that you did not ask, you only stayed on assumption. You are the one who is suffering. The man is just there. My husband will laugh, he will joke. He will even eat food on top. You are the one that will be carrying face and sleeping with hunger. So rather than assume that he should know, ask. That's why there's mouths. If you're that kind of person that doesn't know how to ask with your mouth, then write it, send an SMS, chat, or drop a note. But don't ever, and that's the same thing with singles. Don't ever say yes I do to someone when you have not asked thorough questions. He should know the church we should attend. He should know, he should believe in some particular doctrine, he should believe in this, he should believe in that. Sit down and ask. Sit down and talk about things in details. Your mouth is not only for scooping ice cream. Do you know, I had a protege. She was in 7 years relationship with a guy. 7 good years. That's almost marriage anniversary. 7 good years. And when they were about getting married, she said, I have a problem. I said, what's the problem? She said, the man's church, they don't believe in eating fish. Yes. Oh, yes. That we are open because that doesn't mean we have the same doctrines. Don't be confused. She said they don't believe in eating fish. And the man just told her last week, she has known 7 years relationship. What have you been doing 7 years? That's the person I asked her. And the man said that, so what it means is that she cannot be buying fish in the house. And she was like, she has a problem. She was crying. I'm like, what have you been discussing in 7 years? Is it that people are wearing together or what? She said she expected the man to know because the man knows she loves fish. That is how many of you are blind to discussions, conversations you should have, sensitive conversations. There are 2 people that came, they were about getting married. They haven't got married. They had given birth to a child. They were looking for a church to dedicate. This one said, I will go to this person's church. This one says, my church. That's how they were arguing. Because many times you fail to ask necessary questions. You go with assumption. And assumption is no knowledge. Assumption is no knowledge. So you go into marriage with all assumptions. For example, you are a chorister. The man expects that you should be singing in church. He loves God. You need to ask him questions. Will you have a problem if I'm going for rehearsals? Don't just assume things. Ask. Ask questions in details. Say to them, how many children are we going to give birth to? So that you'll not be taken by surprise. It's okay if you decide to add inside marriage, but ask so that you will have an idea of where you're entering.